to pop up. But
Right.
he had his hand all over it, and then he catches it again?
Well, what they're saying is
I think it's a catch.
It's whether you believe Des Bryant was diving or whether you believe he was falling. Because if
it doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
It does not matter.
It does.
Does the rule say diving? Does the rule say diving anywhere?
The rule says you need to be making a football play. And what he said today, what
and
they
he's
were saying
making
today,
a football play. He's making a football play. He's trying to catch a ball and extend for a touchdown.
You have to take possession of the ball and then make an additional football move after that. Falling while you catching it is not an additional football move.
Exactly.
So he falls to the ground.
Because what you were saying, Jim, about the running back thing is they brought that up, saying that the difference between this is when you're a running back, you already have possession of the ball because you have it. You get it handed to you, you have possession. When you're catching, you have to first make the catch, a completed catch, before you can say wide
understand. You guys understand that if your hand is on a football and you're controlling the football and your hand hits the ground, which causes that football to pop up in the air, that is still a live ball.
Not if it hits the ground. If it hits the ground, it's incomplete.
Not if the ball touches the ground, and the ball touches the ground.
I would disagree with that. I would say you would have to argue that the ball was no longer in his control when it struck the ground. And from what I see, it's in his control. He's got a substantial part of his arm all over the ball. Well, the ball pops up. And it could have popped up straight from his hand. And as far as I recall, it did pop up from his hand, and then he caught it again.
What you're describing there is how we all believe the rule should read. But the way it does read now is that catch... No, don't cut me off. Listen to me for a second here. The way the rule reads now, the catch is not completed until you have the ball and you make a move. So that is not a fumble recovered by the receiving player. That ball hits the ground before the move is made. Therefore, the catch is not completed, and it's an incomplete pass. That's the way the rule is right now.
All right.
What you're arguing is saying that as soon as the ball is in control, that's a catch. That's the way the rule should be written and interpreted.
Oh, sorry about that, guys.
You all right?
I thought you stubbed your toe or something.
No, I'm trying to find the video. I mean, I understand the little clip and picture, which, by the way, the picture, all it shows is the ball. It doesn't even show it really striking the ground.
It's hidden by the pylon, but you can see it there in picture 4 of 6. The ball is touching the ground.
3 of 6. See, 4 of 6, I'm not sure that it's touching it. It's still in his grasp. It's still in his control.
Yeah, Again, I think it should have been a catch, but the way that the rule is written, it was interpreted.
Because then if you look at picture 5 of 6, it is very abundantly clear that it's in his control.
It's on its way out. Look at 6 of 6. It's on its way out.
6 of 6, I can't see. 6 of 6 is cut out. But that's okay. That's okay.
Right, if it hits the referee...
If he's squeezing the ball, trying to bring it into his control, and then the ground pops his arm up, pops the ball up, it's a live ball.
It's not completed at that point.
It's not a completed pass yet.
I disagree,
but once again, and I said this during the break too, the Cowboys fans and players have nothing to
complain about. If it walks
about.
like a duck and looks like a duck, it's a duck.
The Ducks are
not
losing.
the NFL. It's a chicken.
The Ducks are losing, by the way.
The Ducks are losing.
35-20.
But like I said, the Cowboys fans, you have a bad rule that was called correctly, where last week the only reason they won is they had 2 rules that were easy to call that were called incorrectly.
You guys keep saying that it's a bad rule, so how would you change it? Because you're saying, Jim, you're right, it should be a catch, but it's not a catch.
It's
exactly.
And the way the rules are designed is to take out any doubt. So if there's doubt, you say there's doubt. The rule's designed to take out doubt. So
it's the same as the
rule
rule
must be, then you must be saying this is an incomplete catch. You cannot say it's a bad rule.
Like, it is a bad rule because the fact that you are not calling the pass completed because he didn't try to run with it afterwards is ridiculous. Because in a play like this where you're falling to the ground, you can catch and control the ball and not advance after you hit the ground.
All right. So what aspect of this catch are you saying the rules should be different?
The fact
because you're sort of agreeing with me it's a catch. You're just saying, but they got it right with the rule.
Well, no,
that's exactly.
I'm trying to understand.
That's exactly what I'm saying,
bad?
Jim. That's
how
exactly what I'm saying.
Bad?
Because the rule prohibits that from being a catch because he didn't run after the ball, after he caught the ball. That's the whole reason it's an incompletion.
I can't agree with you on that because I've seen many times where a ball's up in the air and it's bouncing from player to player and it's hit a player's body and he hasn't exactly controlled it, but then he controls it.
But it doesn't touch the ground.
But But again, you see time and time again a ball partly touch the ground and partly touch a player's hand and come up in the air, and they call it a reception.
Then the refs miss that because if it touches the ground, it's an incompletion.
I don't think it's a blanket rule.
That's
my point.
It is, though. I'm telling you, it is.
All right. Okay. All right.
I love you to death, buddy, but it's the rule. All right.
Everybody keeps saying that it's the rule, and yet nobody really seems to be the master of the rule. Go ahead.
Okay.
This is master of my domain.
All right.
Whatever. Take
nice,
that.
Nice Seinfeld reference.
That's right.
All right.
King of my castle.
All right, conference championships. Enough of this mess. And the worst part about it all is it forces us to talk about the freaking Cowboys.
Hey, by the way, real quick, because I said this off the air, I got to give a plug to my buddy Ben Franklin, who is our Cowboys writer at thefantasygreek.com. I just posted his article. You need to run out there if you're a Cowboys fan or just a football fan and read it, because he did such a good job, given all this controversy, to sort of take the higher road and just talk about it in terms of football. Check it out. It's on our homepage at the top. Cowboys lose heartbreaker to Packers. No words can describe it. Ben Franklin, my man.
All right. All right. So conference championship games going forward. The NFC Championship, Green Bay at Seattle. I tell you, that Seattle defense that smoked Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl last year, it is back. It is back with a vengeance. And now the Packers are traveling to Seattle, a place where they went in week 1, and it wasn't all that pretty. And if Aaron Rodgers' mobility is hampered even in the littlest bit, I worry that he makes it out of this game alive. I know that's an exaggeration. I going into Seattle, the Packers have been playing really, really good football. Aaron Rodgers has been spot on and flawless, even with the injury. You cannot take anything away from him. He has to be the best quarterback in the league right now. But I'm picking the Seahawks in this game.
Oh, I'm definitely. I mean, I picked my two teams going to the Super Bowl in the beginning of the season were the Seahawks and the Patriots, and I'm sticking to that. I mean, like you said, if Aaron Rodgers was 100%, I think it's a different story. But the fact that he is, hobbled, and of all the people, I think the two players playing the best right now are Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers is playing good, but Tom Brady and Russell Wilson. I mean, Russell Wilson is playing incredible football right now. So even though their defense is doing better, I think he is going to just destroy Green Bay's defense.
I have to agree with you guys. The Seahawks here, to me, playing at home, they definitely have the edge in the game, and I like what their defense has been doing since they came out of their bye week and sort of got together, or got through their injury bug. And you've got one of the toughest secondaries that's going to take on, a very good group of wide receivers, but they match up with these guys. I like Devontae Adams. I liked him this past week and have a phenomenal game, and boy, did he impress. So I could still see Devontae doing something. It should be a close game. A medium scoring score. I don't know, 24-21, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like right around that range, you say.
Yeah. I agree.
And Marshawn Lynch, if he has a big game, forget about it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at last week's games, and you got to tip your cap to the Packers for quote unquote holding DeMarco Murray to 123 yards and only a touchdown, because their run defense is their Achilles heel, and the way that the Cowboys have been running the ball all year, it very well could have been worse, or maybe should have been worse. But at the end of the day, they were holding off, or they came back and then very nearly lost that game if it hadn't been for that horrific call, which we're not going to bring up anymore. So going into Seattle, and again, I know Week 1 was a lifetime away, and teams mature, teams gel, teams progress, I guess is a better word. I don't really see them going into Seattle and winning this game. I just don't see a way it's possible unless, Richard Sherman tears his ACL in the first quarter.
Well, and the way I look at it is if Aaron Rodgers was 100% healthy to where he'd be able to run around, I think Green Bay would have a very good chance in this game. But the fact that he is hobbled, there's just no way he's going to be able to play against Seattle's defense the way he played against Dallas. Because in that Dallas game, I mean, he was running for his life or limping for his life against Dallas's defense, which is improved, but it's still not near the level of Seattle's. So to me, I think there's too many cards stacked against him.
Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to think of all the different angles possible in this game. You got Aaron Rodgers versus the Seahawks defense. You've got Eddie Lacy, who is that big bruising back like Marshawn Lynch, but Seattle's defense is just too good, like we've said. I mean, it's going to take like an all-time great game by Aaron Rodgers for the Packers to win this.
Here's the thing: if the Seahawks can get to Aaron Rodgers and not just put pressure on him, but physically touch him, they will win this football game. I don't think Aaron's got too much left. I mean, he's close to being on the sidelines, being taken to the locker room for tests.
Yeah. Yeah, it might not.
Because last week, I mean, that offensive line did a phenomenal job against the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm. That they did.
Yeah.
All right, and over on the AFC, you have the Indianapolis Colts traveling to the New England Patriots, the old guard of the AFC, possibly a symbolic, attempt at passing the torch. The Patriots have just been playing really, really good football. They kind of exercised the demon by beating Baltimore last week, even though it did not look like, for the full 4 quarters, like that was how it was going to end up. But Tom Brady and company, Bill Belichick and company, find a way to get it done. A little controversy over some substitutions, which I think John Harbaugh should just shut up, but that's just me. It's in New England. Let me tell you something. If the Colts go into New England and pull this off, then this is the passing of the torch. And Andrew Luck is one of those. We already know he's one of those special talents, but he will be climbing that ladder when you talk about who are the best quarterbacks in that league even more. I think he's got to be in the top 3 right now. I'd say, it was Aaron Rodgers, Brady, Manning, Luck in that conversation. It might be Rodgers and Luck by the time this is all done. I'm picking the Patriots at home, though.
Yeah, I'm sticking Patriots. They're playing really well right now. I mean, you can't get behind like they did with Baltimore again. I think they need to try to, recovering from 2 14-point deficits is ridiculous for any team to do in this level of play. So, but also I think Brady is playing so well right now. I mean, their defense is playing well, but Brady's just playing outstanding football at the moment. So I can't see Indianapolis going to New England, which I believe any one of those teams, be it Indy or Denver, was cringing about the thought of going to New England in the winter, in the postseason, and taking on Brady and Belichick. I mean, it's a Herculean task right there.
No, last year they played in New England, and New England won 43-22. They played on November 16th this past during the regular season, and New England won 42-20. I just don't see a different result. Jim?
Well, let me first start off by saying when I did our fantasy playoff rankings for Survivor Leagues, I had envisioned a Seahawks Patriots Super Bowl, and I'm not gonna back away from that. I think the Patriots have done all the right things, especially on offense, to make their team the best in the AFC, and especially at home. I mean, the fact that they had home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs, to me, really sounded the death knell of any other team's hopes of making it to the Super Bowl. All that having been said, the Colts impressed the crap out of me last week. Mm-hmm. I mean, how do you go up against – name the wide receivers